Hi, believe me, I'm not used to introducing people, but since I decided to put this program together, you'll have to excuse me. And let me first begin by introducing David DiManna of Denver Loft Sessions on Channel 8, Denver Gov. And on Skype, we have Heather Dalton of Sounds on 29th and Open Air Live and Local on Channel 12. And I was, of course, watching TV and said, gee, you know, I recognize a lot of these bands, and I know a number of them would love to find how to get on TV, since I've been here long enough to remember Teletoons and Music Link when you were watching stuff saying, who is that and where are they from? So with that, David, why don't you come on up and we'll get started.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, David.
Hi, she is. Good, I'm good, I'm good. She was in production this weekend, right? Were you shooting yesterday? Did you have a...
Next weekend.
Next weekend, okay, because so we share, interestingly enough, we share crew people. So some of the crew that works at Channel 12 also works for us on our show. Anyway, I'm David DiManna, a Denver native, but semi-sound engineer. That's okay. I was born and raised here, but I spent a lot of my career back east with an independent production company that did everything from music to commercials to national shows, whatever, for 15 years. Now I'm back. By way of a quick resume, I've been doing video for television for independent productions, spec shows, for about several decades. I do have what I think is a pretty strong background of experience in music and entertainment, including several national acts. There were pilot shows for some Nashville bands or whatever. I've also done several large-scale entertainment events, several acts for the New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square, where there's about 15 directors because there's 27 different stages and all that sort of thing. Anyway, here we are in Denver and now working the local scene. I happen to be affiliated with Denver's Channel 8, and by explanation that is the city's municipal channel. It is not the local access channel. Local access channel is Denver Open Media. I think it has some other name now, whatever. Channel 8 is the city's municipal channel, in that a huge percentage of their programming is things that the city does, everything the mayor does, city council or whatever. Well, part of the mission of Mayor Hancock, who's been in office for several years now, is to really present Denver to be a really cool place to live. And he also, because he's the mayor, he knows that, but he likes to have the support of the surrounding communities as well. So after about a year's worth of discussions, we determined in discussions with the mayor and his people, whatever, that Denver is a really hot spot for local musicians. And the local music society here, the musicians, artists, composers, promoters, everything is very, very active. So with the city's backing, we started a show last spring called the Denver Loft Sessions. And what it is totally devoted to the promotion and production of local artists. Now, right now we're doing mostly music, but the show will also be open to other forms of artists in the Denver community. We have a show possibly coming up next spring of dance, flamenco dance, which also has a very interesting musical elements to it as well. Slam poetry, things like that. So we're probably going to be 75% music and 25% other things. Part of the impetus for it was, as well, as I think many of you know, the mayor's wife, Mary Louise, is a very accomplished performer herself, and she has her own pop jazz combo as well. I think there are 4 of them right now. So she's got in the mayor's ear, we don't want to say pillow conversation, whatever, but let's hope it wasn't, that she is totally behind this as well. She does not want to take a position in that she would come on the show and say, hi, I'm Mary Louise, the First Lady of Denver, and this is a great show. Although we want her to, but I think we let the music speak for itself. We've kind of broken the mold of we don't have a host, we don't have someone that says, hi, welcome, it's the Denver Loft Sessions and I'm so-and-so. We started out with Jake Schroeder. Did anyone in this room know who he is?
Open gone bad.
Yeah, he is OB Gone Bad. And we found out through our Facebook channel that a lot of people who saw the first 4 or 5 shows that Jake was our opener, he was just mainly an opening spokesperson because he was bringing them to the point that it can be done. A local band can succeed. Well, we found out through Facebook that not a lot of our viewers knew who he was. Who's that guy? Even though he said, I'm Jake Schroeder of OB Gone Bad, we still have to skew that way to who they know and who they don't know. So the show, like I said, started last spring. What we do is we take a Saturday, one Saturday every other month, or every month almost, and we record 3 bands in that Saturday. And what we ask of the bands is 20 to 25 minutes of original music. It has to be original music because the city lawyers told us they don't even want to get anywhere near that licensing and permissions and all that jazz, which is fine because I think one of the elements in this town is the incredible wealth of original music that's here. That's what it's all about. I mean, anybody can do covers. We can all go to weddings on Saturday nights and listen to covers, but we don't want that. Anyway, how do you get on? How does it work? I should go back a little bit, rewind. So, we ask for submissions through Facebook, through word of mouth. It's amazing. We've done just a little bit of advertising in some of the neighborhood newspapers or whatever. And you have to submit video. That's one of the biggest criteria we have. If it's a clip, if it's a whole song, I don't accept, and we'd rather not look at thematic music videos, even though there's a big, strong, push for those, and you should have them as artists as well. We want to see you perform. Then we take that video, and the only other thing we ask is that if you are chosen to be on the show, you be available for the time slots that we have on that particular Saturday. You perform original G and PG rated lyrics on your original music. 20 to 25 minutes. You also give us a very short interview, and we usually get people in and out in 3 hours. And that's a pretty long day for us, but we have some of the best, and I'll mention Larry Patchett, who also works on Sounds on 29th. He's our sound designer as well. And a crack crew of people who know how to shoot and direct music for video. We do the Channel 8, because the Red Rocks is a city venue, they call upon Channel 8's technicians and shooters to cover video of all the groups that play up at Red Rocks. Red Rocks, in case you haven't been there recently, has a very large LED screen over on stage left, which is basically an IMAG situation, so that if you're sitting in row 107, you at least get a few close-ups of the musicians. I myself direct those shows, and in exchange for the artists at Red Rocks letting us put their images up on that LED screen, we give them a CD, or DVD rather, of their performance that night. And it's amazing how grateful they are for that, because it just doesn't occur to them that they get their performance at Red Rocks captured for them to watch while they're riding on the bus or whatever. So, and we're very pleased to say that the word has spread that they get some of the best. We're kind of known as the house video, and in a lot of venues you go to, be they arenas or stadiums, whatever, there usually is house video. But we've established a really decent reputation for our coverage at Red Rocks. We're very proud of that because the bands have told other bands. And Tom Petty's lighting director comes in and says, "You guys, we love you guys." It's exactly like that. You're the best. So we're very happy, and some of our crews, which is an interesting thing about Denver, whatever. Our camera operators, our technicians, whatever, also work at Channel 12. So everybody shares and knows each other alike, whatever. So we rely on that professional standard of professional shooters. I myself am a director and a producer. We also have 2 directors who direct the Loft sessions as well, to get the best possible product of you and your band in 3 hours. You're in, you're loaded in, you set up, You're sound checked in an extremely professional manner. We shoot you, we give you a little bit of time, the band a little bit of time for a retake if something really bad happens. But chances are it doesn't, but we understand it can. And then you're out of there in 3 hours. That recording then is, the music's edited together with a very short, quirky, quippy interview segments. That half-hour show then plays on the channel at different times of the day for about 6 days for a 2-week run. At the end of that, we give the band their own HD link to the show. We don't care, they can use that any way they want. That's the only remuneration that we deal with. You don't pay to be on, there's no admission to get in to be in the audience, and that's what you get in return for giving us 3 hours of your time. The other thing that we look at as well is we try not to have the Denver Loft sessions be an audition program. We really look for, because of our emphasis and our mission with the city, is to emphasize the vibrant music scene here. We really look for performers who are performing in the region, and we include Denver, Boulder, the Springs, whatever, on a sort of regular basis, because if the audience watches the show and sees a band and they want to go see them, they have to be able to go see the band, versus the band saying, well, we played on the Denver Loft sessions and that was kind of it, until somebody calls us. I mean, I'm not putting down the bands at all, because it's a rough thing to get regular gigs, and there seems like there's plenty of venues in Denver to perform. But part of our mission is to present a band that you don't have to be regular, you don't have to be the Flowbots, you don't have to be anything like that. Just the fact that we want to give our viewers a chance to see you, so that we hope that you are performing on a semi-regular basis around town, whatever. So what we do is we produce for several months, and then we take a hiatus because of our Red Rock schedule throughout the summer. So we are just starting back now. We just had our first production day in October to bank shows that will take us all the way until next April, because the first show is already on the books for April 19th at Red Rocks. And on October 5th, we finished our 89th show this summer. We did 89 shows at Red Rocks. Thanks. So if you're applauding, come up for some of the EDM shows. I'm sure we'll be happy to take our place for those as well. So, and that's a genre that we see is gaining popularity, but it's still hard for me with my background in music production to see what the hell is that. You know? We just had. There was a band that we shot this Saturday the 18th called Nerdle. I don't know if you've heard of them or seen them. It's a combination of brass. it's the lead player's name backwards, but that's what Nerdle means. And he plays tracks and he plays a beatbox, but he tilts it forward. He doesn't play it flat. He tilts it forward. And his point about that is, and even when he plays clubs or whatever, he wants the audience to see that he is actually playing. On his beatbox, which provides various tones, whatever, he also has a mixer as well, that he lays his own tracks down. But they're EDM that tells the truth. And I just thought it's an interesting point that he tilts his devices forward so that people can actually see that he's playing. One of the jokes I have with my crew at Red Rocks on EDM shows is, make sure you don't have too many close-ups of the DJ's fingers, because all you do is see him hit a play button. The rest is a lot of this and a lot of this, whatever. It's just not a visual medium. It just isn't. So, but it sells tickets at Red Rocks, amazingly so. They're sellouts all the time, but that's the trend that we see in booking acts in venues like that. We hope it's just a trend now that's going to play itself out. We love to shoot shows with actual real instruments, with real singers, playing real music on real devices. So, what a concept. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? So, anyway, so that's basically the story of the Loft Sessions. Some of the limitations we have are that if you don't live in the city and county of Denver and don't have Comcast cable, you can't see the show. If you do live in Denver and have Comcast, you see it on Channel 8. So what we've done successfully is some of the other, like I said, some of the other Channel 8s have now picked up the show, mostly in the area around Denver. which is Arvada, Lakewood, Aurora, Centennial, and a few more. We also are about to sign an agreement with the Channel 8s on the western slope, like Vail and that, to pick up the program, and they'll play it in their schedule as well. We also have a huge social media presence, we think. So because of the limitation of our viewing audience, and we release the programs on social media as well. It's our own YouTube spot as well as we put highlights and promos on our Facebook channels, and we haven't really embraced Twitter yet, but we may soon. So that's really the awareness, and all of our thinking in terms of producing the show always includes social media. That's just a fact of life in the television world these days. If you can have great video, a great channel, a great streaming network as well, but if you don't have your viewers or your developers and distributors on social media, then you've got to get hip to it and quick. Because that's where people are seeing music, finding music, playing music, and we know that things like SoundClouds and things like that, Reverb Nation, have been around for a while and are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So, with that, let's see, did I cover everything? I think I did. Our studio is easily located. We're right downtown. We are in the former juvenile courtroom at the Denver City and County building, and we actually have 2 bands in the last year who drove up to load in, and one of the band members said, no, we're not going in there. And you say, how would you know that? How would you know what's in there? So it doesn't say juvenile court anymore on it because they moved down. It's Colfax to the new courthouse. So it's an intimate, great little studio, easy to find. We take over the whole street, so there's no parking, load in, whatever. We know what we like to say. We know what we're doing, and we want to do the best for you, the artist who plays, and you do the best for us. Wow, what a deal! And it's free. So. Sure, absolutely, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Heather. Hi, everybody. I hope everyone can hear me. I might be on a little delay. It may be a little awkward, so please bear with me. I'm new to Skype. But I wanted to discuss how I even started with Channel 12. It was over 21 years ago, and it was with a show called Teletoons. I was a VJ for Teletoons, and I also was in a lot of local bands. So I'm coming from both sides. I was in a band called the Pin Downs, a band called the Fox Force 5, Heather Darling and the Fabulous Martini Brothers, several bands in the 90s all the way through to the mid-2000s. Not playing so much anymore because now I'm behind camera and kind of sharing other people's sounds right now. I am the producer of Sounds on 29th, which we, at the end of the season, will have celebrated 58 episodes, and we're going into our 4th year next March, and we just launched Open Air Live and Local with Colorado Public Radio this year, which we did. The first season was 13 episodes. So we're also working with an independent film company called Denver Film Company, who is working with Marty Jones and the Black Shirt Brewing Company, and they also have a series called Now Playing, which has some amazing local artists. Our mantra has always been, and I was involved, being with Teletoons, the link to the local music scene for Channel 12 has been steeped into Channel 12 history. And I think we lost our way a little bit. And so it's fitting that I started with Teletoons, and we've come up to Sounds on 29th now, and I can give back to the local music community that has given me so much. Our challenges are, we don't have a very big budget, so we can only shoot 4 times a year. We block out 4 weekends, and we shoot on Saturdays and Sundays. We shoot 4 bands with either 4 comedians and our 4 spoken word poets. And we do have a host because we decided, since we don't have a lot of HD cameras, and we wanted to make fun of our lack of resources, so we do run the show like an old school variety show. It's hosted by a gentleman named Sid Steen, and if you've ever seen the show, you can kind of tell it's that weird, oh my God, it's live television, you never know what's going to happen. There's a lot of banter between our host and the band, and we try to take a tongue-in-cheek kind of view towards things to keep it interesting and not take ourselves too seriously. As far as submissions, we do have a selection committee that is usually 5 members at a time, and that way we can break a tie. We have submissions come in, we request electronic press kits by email, Facebook, things of that nature. We check things out. We do like, as well as David mentioned, we like to have video so we can kind of see what's going on with the performances, but we also are very active in the community and we scout live. So sometimes we're hiding in the shadows, checking things out with a lot of our production crew, our director, and just other members of the station. I'm trying to see what else to cover here. We try to make sure that we represent all different genres. We try to mix it up, and we admittedly have been a little light on electronic music, but we're hoping to change that tide next year. But we have a lot of country, a lot of blues, rock, garage, punk, experimental, psychedelic, so we try to mix it up completely, a lot of bluegrass. And so that was our approach with Sounds on 29th. I can't necessarily speak to the selection process for Colorado Public Radio on open air, but later I can discuss why we've chosen to work together and why our focus is on the local music scene is so important. So with that, I'll quit talking 5 million miles a minute, and I will see if there's any questions, or David, that we'd like to talk about.